Eclipse facts. One of the most anticipated natural events worldwide is eclipses. Hello everyone. Welcome to Z. Don't forget to subscribe our channel. We can find out the next eclipse's date using the Saros period. There are 223 synodic months in the Saros, about 18 years or 6,585 days. The Saros is a tool used by astronomers to predict lunar and solar eclipses. The Moon, Earth, and Sun return to their original positions around the same relative geometry one Saros period, or 18 years, after an eclipse. They will experience an almost identical eclipse because they are roughly in the same line. The Sun is completely blocked out during a total solar eclipse. When the Moon completely obscures the solar disk, a total solar eclipse occurs. The total solar eclipse is the only one among all eclipses where it is safe to look directly at the Sun, and it is nearly as dark as night. When the Moon is far from its typical orbit, the annular solar eclipse occurs. In the course of its normal orbit, the Moon will not be close enough to the Sun to totally obscure its disk. It normally lasts between 5 and 6 minutes and is known as an annular eclipse. During this occurrence, observers must avoid looking straight at the Sun. Again, the distance between the Moon and the Earth is what distinguishes an annular eclipse from a total eclipse. From the Latin word annulus, which means ring, derives the word annular. When viewing the partial solar eclipse, use caution. When the Moon does not completely obscure the solar disk, there is a partial solar eclipse. The partial solar eclipse must be watched carefully because looking at it could cause serious eye damage or perhaps blindness. Rare is the hybrid solar eclipse. The last type of eclipse is a hybrid one, which is very uncommon. As the Moon's shadow travels across the surface of the Earth, the hybrid eclipse varies in appearance. The geometry of the Earth causes some portions of the eclipse path to pass through the umbra of the Moon during a hybrid solar eclipse. The shadow's middle, dark region is known as the umbra. Different regions of the globe may experience solar eclipses from various angles, such as complete, annular, or partial. Safely see a solar eclipse. One must use a solar filter telescope since staring directly at the solar eclipse might result in blindness and damage to the eyes. One of the best equipment for observing the solar eclipse, it will improve the clarity of the surroundings. Commercial solar eclipse glasses or welder's glasses can be used in the absence of a solar lifter telescope. Before or after a total solar eclipse, wavy lines called the shadow bands are seen. There are wavy lines of alternately dark and light running in parallel at colored surfaces before or after a total solar eclipse. These bands are shadowy. These are brought on by the solar crescent's refraction by the turbulence in Earth's atmosphere. 48 U.S. states experienced solar eclipses during the 2017 Great American Eclipse. A solar eclipse was visible on August 21, 2017, within a band that covered 48 U.S. states. From the Pacific to the Atlantic coasts, it traveled. The Great American Eclipse was the name given to it. In this uncommon opportunity, people also planned and performed a few marriage proposals and weddings. The lengths of eclipse totalities differ from one another. This is a result of the solar eclipse's total phase changing over time. The distances between Earth and the Sun and the Moon are never the same because of how the Earth moves through its orbit. The Moon's distance from the Earth fluctuates by 14%, while the distance from the Sun varies by 3%. As a result, the Moon will appear between 7% and 10% bigger or smaller than the Sun. The portion of the Sun's diameter that the Moon blocks out depends on the eclipse's magnitude. The magnitude of the eclipse is the percentage of a celestial body's angular diameter at the eclipse. The magnitude of an annular or partial solar eclipse ranges from 0.0 to 1.0, however the magnitude of a total solar eclipse should be larger than 1.0 or equal, with a cycle of 159 years less 17 days. The percentage or area of the Sun's diameter that is obscured by the Moon is known as the eclipse magnitude. The word eclipse is derived from the Greek eclipses. The word eclipse comes from the Greek noun eclipsis, which means the downfall, the abandonment, or the darkening of a heavenly body. It is derived from the verb eklep, which means to abandon, to darken, or to cease to exist, and the prefix ek, which comes from the preposition out, and the verb lep, which means to be absent. On July 16, 2186, one of the longest eclipses will take place. A solar eclipse that will be one of the longest in thousands of years will occur on July 16, 2186. The eclipse is anticipated to pass within 4 minutes of the Galapagos Islands, the southern Hispaniola Islands, the northern tip of Ecuador, Isla Santa Rosa, and central Colombia. Bogota, central Venezuela, and northern Guyana take 7 minutes and 4 seconds, compared to 4 minutes and 50 seconds. On Mars, eclipses are frequent. Each year, there are hundreds of sun eclipses that occur on Mars. However, only partial solar eclipses are possible due to Phobos and Deimos, two of Mars' smaller moons. Deimos is occasionally blocked out by Phobos, moon to moon. Eclipses frequently occur on Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus. Uranus, 27 moons, Saturn, 62 moons, Neptune, 14 moons, and Jupiter, 79 moons, all frequently experience eclipses due to their large number of moons. Due to its 4 sizable moons and low axial tilt, Jupiter experiences eclipses the most frequently. As these bodies move through the larger planet's shadow, eclipses become more frequent. Because Jupiter is 1,300 times larger than Earth, you should be aware that the eclipse appeared as dots. Venus and Mercury are incompatible with eclipses. Because they don't have moons, Mercury and Venus cannot experience eclipses, yet they have been seen transiting across the Sun. Mercury experiences an average of 13 transits every century, while Venus occurs in pairs every 8 years, with fewer than 1 Venus transit per century. Pluto and its moon Charon both experience eclipses. Pluto has 5 moons, and Charon, the biggest, has experienced many eclipses lasting more than an hour each. Pluto's moon Charon orbits the planet with a lengthy year and experiences eclipses only twice every century because of its extreme tilt. There won't be any more total solar eclipses in the foreseeable future. Due to tidal friction, there won't be any more total solar eclipses for about 600 million years. The tidal interaction between the Earth and Moon causes the Moon to move away from our planet at a pace of 4 centimeters every year. The first astronomical recordings of solar eclipses came from China. Around 1050 BC or before, China generated the first astronomical records of solar eclipses, carved in fragments of bone and shell known as oracle bones. Drums were traditionally played by the locals in ancient China to frighten away the heavenly dog, which they thought was devouring the sun. Shi, which in Chinese means to devour, is the name for a solar eclipse. Albert Einstein's theory was strengthened by the Sir Arthur Eddington expedition. Albert Einstein's general theory of relativity was supported by Sir Arthur Eddington's mission to view a total solar eclipse in 1919 from Principe, the largest island in Sao Tome and Principe, and the west coast of Africa. According to Albert Einstein's theories, gravity from large objects should warp spacetime and cause light to bend. The solar eclipse helped Christopher Columbus stay alive. Christopher Columbus, an Italian explorer and colonizer, took an almanac with him when he set sail for the New World. The almanac was a yearly calendar that listed significant dates and statistical data, including astronomical information about impending solar eclipses. On his last journey, Columbus was stranded in Jamaica and encountered problems with the locals who refused to provide food, water, or any other assistance for him and his crew. Christopher Columbus warned the locals that he would extinguish the moon's light because he had remembered that a total eclipse was certain to occur on the evening of February 29, 1504. The worried Indians at last consented to assist Christopher Columbus when the eclipse took place. We hope that by providing you with these eclipse facts, you will better understand how mystical and enigmatic eclipses are. I hope these eclipse facts will increase your appreciation for them. That's for now. We appreciate you being here. View more our channel videos.